About the early revolutionaries. So in this lesson, we will see the revolutionary activities which were going on in Maharashtra, then the revolutionary activities which were going on in Punjab, then in Bengal, and then revolutionary activities which were going on abroad, and then what was the Gadar party. Okay, so first let's start with the Maharashtra. So in Maharashtra, Vasudev Balwant Phadke was influenced by the vision of Justice Ranade. So he was a revolutionary and he was influenced by the vision of Justice Ranade, and he held the British government to be responsible for the sufferings of the people during the famine in Deccan in 1876-77. So he was one of the earliest revolutionary in Maharashtra, and Phadke denounced the British policy of ruthless exploitation of India. It's the image of Vasudev Balwant Phadke. So the government ordered the army to suppress the uprising which was led by Vasudev Balwant Phadke, and avoiding pitched battle, Phadke recognized his force and started guerrilla warfare against the British. And he was ultimately captured and was sentenced to transportation for life. He was deported to Aden, where he died in 1883 in jail. So he was one of the earliest revolutionaries in Maharashtra. Then the Chapekar brothers, that is Damodar, Vasudev and Balakrishna. So these Chapekar brothers, they established the Hindu Dharma Sanskarini Sabha. The Hindu Dharma Sanrakshini Sabha, not Sanskarini, Hindu Dharma Sanrakshini Sabha in 1894. And during the Ganpati festivals of 1894, they circulated leaflets in Pune and asked the Hindus to rise in arms against that rule, as Shivaji had done against the Muslim rule, that is against the Mughals. So the Chapekar brothers were very influenced by Bal Gangadhar Tilak, and Bal Gangadhar Tilak is also considered as the major motivation of the Chapekar brothers, that is Damodar Chapekar, Vasudev and Balakrishna Chapekar. These were the brothers. So on June 22, 1897, W.C. Rand and Lieutenant C.E. Ayst were shot dead by Damodar and Balakrishna Chapekar. Okay, so Damodar was arrested immediately after and was sentenced to death, and Balakrishna was later arrested in Hyderabad and sentenced to death. So Balakrishna Chapekar and Damodar Chapekar, these were the two Chapekar brothers who shot down W.C. Rand and Lieutenant C.E. Ayst. So W.C. Rand was plague commissioner in Pune. Plague commissioner in Pune. Okay. And that time the oppressive behavior of the army, which was led by W.C. Rand, the lot of people were angry against this. Even Lokmanya Tilak had written in his newspapers against the oppressive behavior of the army, which was behaving ruthlessly against the people of Pune city. Actually, the army was called, the forces were called for the evacuation of Pune and for the control of plague. So the behavior of the forces was not good, and the Chapekar brothers were motivated by this, and they were angry on this, and that's why they shot down W.C. Rand, who was the plague commissioner in Pune. Then Vinayak Damodar Savarkar. Vinayak Damodar Savarkar is also considered as one of the greatest revolutionary from Maharashtra. Savarkar and his brothers organized Mitra Mela, a secret society in 1899, which merged with Abhinav Bharat in 1905. So Savarkar and his brother first organized Mitra Mela, a secret society, and in 1899, okay, this Mitra Mela was organized in 1899, which merged with Abhinav Bharat in 1904. So soon, Nasik and Pune and Bombay emerged as centers of bomb manufacture. So in 1909, Jackson, the collector of Nasik, was killed by Anant Lakshman Kanhere, a member of Abhinav Bharat. Remember this, collector of Nasik, that is Jackson, in 1909, and he was killed by Anant Lakshman Kanhere. Okay. Here is the image of Vinayak Damodar Savarkar, also called as Swatantraveer Savarkar. Then in Punjab, the Punjab extremism was fueled by issues such as frequent famines coupled with rise in land revenue and irrigation tax, and practice of begar. Begar means bonded labor. Okay, that means the laborers were bonded and they had to work for free. So the practice of begar by zamindars and by the events in Bengal. So these things were responsible for the rise of extremism in Punjab. So Ajit Singh, that is Bhagat Singh's uncle, who organized the extremist Anjuman-e-Mohsaban-e-Watan in Lahore with its journal Bharat Mata. So Ajit Singh organized this extremist organization, that is Anjuman-e-Mohsaban-e-Watan, and its journal was Bharat Mata. So extremism in Punjab died down quickly after the government struck in May 1907 with a ban on political meetings and the deportation of Lala Lajpat Rai and Ajit Singh. So Lala Lajpat Rai and Ajit Singh were the main the leaders of the early revolutionaries in Punjab region. Okay, is the image of Ajit Singh, who was the uncle of Bhagat Singh. Then in Bengal, the first revolutionary activity was organized in 1902 in Midnapur under Jatindranath Basu. In April 1906, an inner circle within Anushilan started a weekly Yugantar and conducted some abortive actions. Okay, so in 1908, Prafulla Chaki and Khudiram Bose threw a bomb at carriage supposed to be carrying a particularly white judge, Kingsford, in Muzaffarpur. So they wanted to kill Kingsford in Muzaffarpur. So that's why Prafulla Chaki and Khudiram Bose threw a bomb at its carriage. And Kingsford was not in the carriage. Unfortunately, two British ladies instead got killed. So Prafulla Chaki shot himself dead while Khudiram Bose was tried and hanged. Okay, so here is the image of Khudiram Bose, who was tried and hanged. Then the whole Anushilan group was arrested, including the Ghosh brothers Aurobindo and Barindra Ghosh, who were tried in Alipore conspiracy case. The Ghosh brothers were charged with conspiracy or waging war against the king. Okay, so Chittaranjan Das defended Aurobindo. This is important. Remember this. Who defended Aurobindo? Chittaranjan Das defended Aurobindo. So Aurobindo was acquitted of all charges, with the judge condemning the flimsy nature of evidence against him. And Barindra Ghosh was given death penalty, which was later commuted to life in prison. So here is the image of Barindra Ghosh. So lot of revolutionary activities were going on in Bengal. Then revolutionary activities abroad. So the need for shelter, the possibility of bringing out revolutionary literature that would be immune from the press acts, and the quest for arms took Indian revolutionaries abroad. So these were the main reasons why the Indian revolutionaries went abroad. First, they wanted a safe shelter. So in foreign land they found a shelter. Then possibility of bringing out revolutionary literature. So the revolutionaries wanted to publish the revolutionary literature, and they wanted immunity from the press acts. So that's why they went abroad and they started working from abroad. And they also wanted to learn about the new arms, about the manufacture of bombs. For this purpose the revolutionaries went abroad. So Shyamji Krishna Varma had started in London in 1905 an Indian Home Rule Society and India House as a center for Indian students. Now this is very important thing. Who started India House? Shyamji Krishna Varma. He started India House in Indian Home Rule Society in London, okay, as a center for Indian students, a scholarship scheme to bring radical youth from India, and a journal, the Indian Sociologist. So he also gave a scholarship to bring radical youth from India, and he also published a journal. It was known as the Indian Sociologist. So this, try to remember this thing. You can pause the lesson, write it down, make short notes, make pointers in your copy, okay, and try to memorize this thing. So revolutionaries such as Savarkar and Hardyal became the members of India House in London. So here is the image of Shyamji Krishna Varma, who was in London. He was running the Indian Home Rule Society, and he was also running the India House. He was giving a scholarship to bring the radical youths to London, and he also published the Indian Sociologist. So these are some points which you need to remember. Okay, then Madan Lal Dhingra from this circle, from this India House. Okay, so Madan Lal Dhingra from this circle assassinated the India Office bureaucrat Curzon Wyllie in 1909. Okay, and soon London became too dangerous for the revolutionaries, particularly after Savarkar had been extradited in 1910 and transported for life in Nasik conspiracy case. Okay, so now London was not safe for the revolutionaries because Madan Lal Dhingra assassinated Curzon Wyllie, and in 1910 Savarkar was also extradited in 1910 and transported for life in Nasik conspiracy case, and he was sent to Andaman and Nicobar Islands for life imprisonment. So the new centers emerged on the continent, that is Paris and Geneva, from where Madame Bhikaji Cama, a Parsi revolutionary who had developed contacts with the French socialists and who brought out Bande Mataram. So this was a newspaper which was brought out by Madame Bhikaji Cama, that is Bande Mataram, and Ajit Singh also operated from there. And after 1909, when Anglo-German relations deteriorated, Virendranath Chattopadhyay chose Berlin as his base. Okay, so here's the image of Madame Bhikaji Cama. So the Ghadar Party. So Ghadar Party was also one of the important organization. So the Ghadar Party was a revolutionary group organized around a weekly newspaper, that is the Ghadar. Okay, so the Ghadar Party was organized around the weekly newspaper. The name of the weekly newspaper was Ghadar. So with its headquarters at San Francisco. So its headquarters was at San Francisco and branches along the US coast. So these revolutionaries included mainly ex-soldiers and peasants who had migrated from Punjab to the USA and Canada. Okay, so mainly its members were the peasants and ex-soldiers who migrated to USA and Canada at that time for better opportunities. So pre-Ghadar revolutionary activity had been carried on by Ramdas Puri, G.D. Kumar, Tarak Nath Das, Sohan Singh Bhakna and Lala Hardayal, who reached there in 1911. So here are the Ghadar party members. So to carry out revolutionary activities, the earlier activists had set up a Swadesh Sevak home at Vancouver and United India House at Seattle. So Swadesh Sevak home was set up at Vancouver and United India House at Seattle. Now you need to remember these places and what was there. So Swadesh Sevak home was at Vancouver and United India House was at Seattle. So the Ghadar program was to organize assassinations of officials, publish revolutionary and anti-imperialist literature, work among Indian troops stationed abroad, and procure arms and bring about a simultaneous revolt in all British colonies. So this was the agenda of the Ghadar, and that is publish revolutionary and anti-imperialist literature, organize assassinations of British officials, then work among Indian troops stationed abroad, procure arms and bring about a simultaneous revolt in all British colonies. So this was the main ambition of the Ghadar party. So here is the headquarters of Ghadar party. Then something interesting happened. The Komagata Maru incident. What was this Komagata Maru incident? So Komagata Maru was the name of a ship which was carrying 370 passengers, mainly Sikh and Punjabi Muslims, would be migrants from Singapore to Vancouver. So these people were going from Singapore to Vancouver and they were turned back by the Canadian authorities, and mainly Canadian authorities also turned them back because they had a pressure from the Britishers. So under the pressure from the Britishers, the Canadian authorities turned them back from Vancouver. So here is the ship, Komagata Maru ship, okay, and it was going from Singapore to Vancouver, remember, and it was carrying mainly Sikh and Punjabi Muslims. These were migrants who were going from Singapore to Vancouver. Remember this thing. This may be a question in our exam. So the ship finally anchored at Calcutta in September 1914. So the Komagata Maru ship, it was turned back by the Canadian authorities. They did not allow to anchor it at Vancouver. So now the ship was finally anchored at Calcutta in September 1940 and the inmates refused to board the Punjab bound train. They refused. They wanted to go to Canada but they were forced. So in the ensuing conflict with the police at Bajbaj near Calcutta, 22 persons died because police were trying to take them out from the ship and they were forcing them to board the Punjab train, but the persons were denying it. They did not want to board the train. So in this scuffle 22 persons died. So inflamed by this and with the outbreak of the First World War, the Ghadar leaders decided to launch a violent attack to oust British rule in India. They started planning to organize a revolt against the British. So the British authority dealt it with severe measures and the Ghadar was crushed in India. Britishers came to know about the activities of the Ghadar party and they dealt it with severe measures and Ghadar was crushed in India. Okay, so Ghadar party failed in India. So the Komagata Maru ship finally anchored at Kolkata. Okay, so we have seen that. So this is all about the early revolutionary activities. So one thing we need to learn about the early rise of the rise of early revolutionaries is that there were some reasons for the rise of these early revolutionaries. Why this early revolutionaries rise? See, firstly, all of these were supporting the moderates, but later on they found a ray of hope in extremists. But later on, after the Surat split, these revolutionaries lost a ray of hope there was a split in the Congress. Extremists were expelled from the Congress, and that's why their leaders were not there in the Congress. So that's why they took the responsibility in their hand and they started these revolutionary activities. And after taking into hand the revolutionary activities, they wanted to overpower and overthrow the British Empire from India. Okay, so that's why the revolutionary activity started in India, and this gave a new this gave rise to a new generation which started to take participation in revolutionary activities. Okay, so that's all about the early revolutionaries in India. So in our next lessons we are going to study about Morley Minto reforms of 1909.